That's me, Anthony Elmore at JFK International Airport in New York, Monday, October the 29th, 2018. I am about to board Kenya Airways' first maiden direct flight from JFK to Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Nairobi, Kenya. This was an auspicious occasion where you see me taking a photograph with the president of Kenya Airways, Sebastian Mikoff, looking at me take a picture with Robert Goddard, American ambassador to Kenya. In this photograph, you see me in the picture with two Kenyans living in America, Richard Kipto and a Gray Asava. Our plans for travel to Kenya is to ask Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta to honor African Americans with a formal state reception. Throughout the history of slavery in America and African countries breaking the yoke of colonization, no African country has formally invited their African ancestors in America, we Black Americans, to visit Africa. We Black Americans have a $1.2 trillion buying power, while we spend over $50 billion a year on travel, and whereas we travel in groups to culture events more than any ethnic group in America, African countries do not market to Black people in America. We created a plan called the Safari Initiative. The Kenyans in America heard about our plan, and they encouraged me to come to Kenya, and they would help me to share our story in Kenya. It was white American writer Ernest Hemingway who coined the Swahili word safari. Safari has become synonymous with white people seeing animals in luxury. We have redefined the word safari as an acronym to mean Style, African Family, Application, Renaissance Initiative. We interchanged the F. For the sake of this video, we call Safari Style, African Food, Application, Renaissance Initiative. We produced a video titled Find Your African Heritage in Kenya. This video is called Kenya Foods Define African Heritage.
In most cases, when you say you're coming to Kenya, you should be learning one more thing. You should try their food, indigenous ones, the best. Their culture, one of a kind. You should try it when you come back one more time.
Hello, this is Anthony Elmore. I am at the Inkari Hotel in Nairobi, Kenya.
Charles?
Look at the camera, Charles.
Yeah, Charles.
Charles, man, listen, those of you in America, man, I've had the best food. Now, I'm talking to an executive chef. You know, you go to these big hotels like the Hilton, you don't talk to the executive chef. Tell me something. Why should I invite African Americans to come to Kenya? And why is it important that we have a small hotel like this? Why they should consider a small hotel?
Because it produces the best food, continental food.
Like the big hotels, it's just so mass produced. Like the seasoning here, man, is great.
Rice.
What's in that rice? I see. What's it? Hot chef? Who did you chef?
Yeah.
Tell them what you got on that rice, man.
Rice.
What's all that mixed in with it?
Rice we make with these are plain rice, and we have decorated with the tomato and.
Tell them about these potatoes.
Yeah, this is lioness potato.
And what we got here?
This is liver. Fried liver.
Fried liver. What's this?
Yeah. This is a pan-fried chicken.
And what was this?
Fish.
Man, them greens, those
We have a
greens.
green spinach.
Then the spinach, that's not green. Is that sukuma wiki?
Yeah, and sukuma wiki. Spinach and sukuma wiki, we mixed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, tell what's your name, man?
My name is Bernard.
Well, look, we're doing I'm going to put this on YouTube. In America, we African Americans recognize our Black heritage with soul food. The greatness of America is our diverse culture. The way we most experience culture in America is through foods. One of the exciting upscale culture experiences in America is the recent advent of sushi, a Japanese culture food, whereas we have sushi bars in America. Just recently in America, we find Mexican or Hispanic restaurants all over America. Look at this picture of KFC restaurants in Kenya. Whether it is Burger King or Domino's Pizza, we find American-style restaurants in Kenya. Worldwide, we find Chinese, Italian, French, Indian, or Australian foods with the Outback Steakhouses. What we do not find in America are African foods. In regards to visiting Kenya, it is Kenya foods that define African heritage. When we black people visit Kenya, if you desire to learn and experience your African heritage in Kenya, please understand that it is Kenya foods that define your African heritage. When we say Kenya foods, we mean African foods. If you are a tourist in Kenya, you can experience the greatness of all international cuisines. If you are African American and you desire to touch your African heritage, then you must experience the joy of African foods in Kenya. I'm recording, hold on. All right, I come into this restaurant in Kenya and I walk into the restaurant and this is African cuisine. Also, these the cooks over here? Also, this is where they're cooking the food at here, huh? So, you cooking genuine African food, huh? Okay. Well, let me sit down. I'll sit over here. And I am in Kenya. This is the menu. Okay. Let's take a look at the menu of this African food. Let's see. What does this say here? This is the menu.
Yes.
Okay. Let me take a look. I don't get a chance to see African menus very much. See, I know about Italian and French and all these things, but don't know about African. But what do you recommend? I'm from America. What do you recommend? Now, those of you who are watching the food, I got this tilapia fish.
Yes.
This is kundi, right? Kundi. I got ugali, and chambari, which is kind of like a vegetable. And you eat all this stuff. She called it soup, but it's just a little spice. And this cost me 370 shillings, so just under $4 for lunch. All right. This is Anthony Elmore. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm with Brother Afayo. And he took me to this restaurant. It's called, how do you pronounce it, Petma? What's this, Petma restaurant? And come, Afayo. This restaurant here, man, this is not the tourist restaurant. They have the best food, man. They got all this good fish. But if you ever come to Kenya, and this is not on the tourist track, but boy, this would be a good place where African Americans can come and enjoy themselves. They have the best food you ever want to see. And I've really enjoyed this restaurant. How you all doing? Yeah, but this is a great restaurant. How you doing? How you all doing? And they have great food, and this is some of the beautiful, great African food that I ate here. So if you ever come to Kenya, you want to come to this restaurant and eat some of this good African food. How you doing, sir?
Fine, sir.
Great, great. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here in Nairobi, Kenya, and I ordered me a really big burger. Now check this burger out. I departed Kenya not as a tourist, but as a family member who found a part of my African heritage via enjoying the foods and the culture with common people in Kenya. It was through the Kenyan foods, with the Kenyan people, where I found and embraced my African heritage.